goes into his fights to destroy these guys. He's not going in there to have it like, oh, let me throw a 1-2, okay, let me throw a jab cross and back off. No, he's in your face and constantly make it a problem. So, I think this is a big problem for Jared Cannonier. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Combat Talk podcast. And as always, I'm the owner, the founder, and everything that gets done for the podcast I'm doing. And as always, I'm your host, Sophia. And before we get into our video, remember to like, subscribe, comment, hit that notification bell so you never ever miss another episode of the Combat Talk podcast. But real quick before we get into our video, remember, if you're not following the Spotify channel, the streaming channel, the links are in the bio of the video. Go subscribe and go follow those too. So, without further ado, let's get into our video. Today, we will be talking about Kamaru Usman versus Plessis, and we're going to go over the fight card. I'm going to break down the fights. I'm going to give you guys my fight predictions, but you guys don't have to agree with me as always. But, without further ado, let's get into it. Now, starting off our prelims, we have Ezra Elliott versus Damian Anderson at featherweight. Now, this fight has just been announced 4 days' notice. Damian Anderson being a jiu-jitsu, big name in jiu-jitsu, and Ezra Elliott, he's coming into this fight looking to be a fast-paced fighter in this fight and rush for the double leg and take him down and submit him. Damian is a little bit more patient. He knows how to keep calm and know his distance and knows when to use his timing and find his openings. So, who do I think is going to win this fight? Well, with that being said, I think I'm going to have to pick Damian Anderson via TKO in the second round or submission. We'll go with that. But next up, on our prelims, we have Anna Milosano versus Dione Barbosa at flyweight. Anna just being signed to the UFC after going through the Ultimate Fighter this season. She did lose her first fight in the Ultimate Fighter, but Dana saw something in her. So they signed Anna, and now she's looking to make a statement in this fight against Dione Barbosa. Anna needs to go into this fight with the mentality of, yes, what happened on the Ultimate Fighter, but I'm still me. I still am technical. I'm still the striker that I want to be. I'm still good on the ground. So I think this is a big task for Anna in her debut for the UFC. Can she handle the pressure of the UFC, and can she handle dealing with someone like Dione Barbosa in this fight? Well, I think she can, and I'm going to give her some hope, and I'm going to give her some shine. So we're going to go with Anna Milosano via second round TKO or split decision. We'll go with that. But our next fight on the prelims, we have Alden Correa versus Stuart Nicole at flyweight. Now, before I talk about this fight, I'm going to tell you guys this because I forgot to tell you at the beginning of the video. I'm not going over every single fight in the prelims. I'm not. Because I really want to focus on the key fights and I want to focus on the main card. That's why. But now, let's talk about this fight. No, Alden Correa is more of the fast-paced fighter. He's the better striker, and plus, I think he's a little bit more technical than Stuart Nicole. Stuart Nicole is good, however, he hasn't been doing that great recently. So, I think this is the shine that Alden Correa needs in his fights, and I think this is the opportunity that he needs to display his performances and say, you can look at all of my past performances and say something, but look at this fight and look at this performance, and I'm going to bring a battle into this fight. So, Alden Correa, I'm going to pick him via unanimous decision. We'll go with that. Sorry for the camera shake. But we move on to Austin Bashi versus Jose Miguel Delgado at featherweight. Now, both of these guys are really good on the ground. Now, the striking, I'm going to lean towards more of Austin Bashi. I think he is a little bit better striking than Jose. I think Jose is just more quicker to go to the ground than anything. But I just think Austin Bashi has the better striking. So I'm going to go with Austin Bashi via second round TKO. But now we move on to our main card of the evening. But before we get into that real quick, you guys know that I'm sponsored by Hayabusa. you guys know that they're having a sale right now, and you guys can use my code SOPHIA in all caps to save you guys 10% on your order. So go do that. Go to Hayabusa, save some money, and use my code on top of the sale. So go do that. But anyways, let's get back to the video. Now, our main card, people. Starting off, we have Tommy McMillan versus Alberto Montes at featherweight. Now, Tommy McMillan has been making a name for himself with the knockouts that he's been able to do in his fights and the things he's been able to accomplish in his fights. He's been able to outstrike these guys and bring a battle and a war that we haven't seen in the featherweight division for a while. Alberto Montes is about to get a big reality check. Can he handle this striking? Can he handle someone young and fast and up in his face 24/7 and being a constant problem? I don't think so. However, Alberto does have really good ground game. So Tommy needs to have a really good defense for the ground game and being taken down. If he does, he wins this fight. If he doesn't, Alberto is going to just shoot, and he knows how to play the ground game. But with that being said, of course, I'm going to pick Tommy McMillan via second round knockout. We'll go second round. We'll play it safe. We'll have some fun with it. But next up, we got Tabitha Ricci versus Fatima Klein at strawweight. Fatima Klein is just a heavy hitter and going in there to knock out Tabitha Ricci. Tabitha Ricci is really good. However, I don't think she's been hit as hard by someone like Fatima Klein, to be honest. And Fatima Klein, she's looking to make a statement. She wants people to know that she wants that title, and she wants people to know that she needs to be considered, and people should be watching her. Fatima Klein is not somebody to sleep on. You need to be watching her because you never know what she's going to pull out of her tricks that she has. And she's just going to pull out a trick out of her bag and be like, boom, knockout, boom, elbow, boom, knee to the body. So with that being said, I'm going to go Fatima Klein, third round TKO. Just saying. But our next fight, we have Chase Hooper versus Mitch Ramirez at lightweight. Now, as much as I want to sit here and say Chase Hooper's going to win, he really hasn't shown that in a long time. And to be honest, his striking doesn't really add up. His striking is not that good. His jiu-jitsu game is a lot better than his striking game. Now, Mitch Ramirez, he can play the ground game too, but I think he needs to outstrike Chase because that is how he's going to win this fight. Chase Hooper's striking is just not up to par. And plus, I think Mitch Ramirez can outstrike him. And I'm going to pick Mitch Ramirez via split decision. But our co-main event, we got Jared Cannonier versus Christian Leroy Duncan at middleweight. Now, when we look at Christian Leroy Duncan, if I can talk. When we look at Christian Leroy Duncan and we look at his past fights and the things that he's been able to do in his fights, he goes into his fights to destroy these guys. He's not going in there to have it like, let me throw a 1-2, okay, let me throw a jab cross and back off. No, he's in your face and constantly make it a problem. So, I think this is a big problem for Jared Cannonier because he does have good striking. However, if I'm Jared, I need to rush that double leg. I need to rush that takedown on Christian because Christian doesn't really have really good ground game. However, I don't think Christian's going to let Jared get to the ground. So, I'm going to pick Christian Leroy Duncan via first round knockout or unanimous decision. We'll go with that. But the reason and the main point of this video is the main event. We have Dricus du Plessis versus Kamaru Usman. Now, let's break down this fight. Kamaru Usman has really good wrestling. Dricus has really good striking. Dricus does have good ground game. However, Kamaru striking is just horrible. So, it's not horrible, but it's good enough to maybe have him survive this fight against Dricus. However, I just think Dricus is going to outstrike him. I think as long as Dricus can sprawl hard and defend the takedowns against Kamaru, he's going to win. And I love Kamaru Usman. I would love for him to win this fight. But going against someone like Drickus, there's no way he's going to win this fight. So, with that being said, I'm going to pick Drickus by split decision for the main event. But, with that being said, I'm going to let you guys tell me your predictions in the comments below. You don't have to agree with me 100%. You guys can tell me your predictions and tell me what you think. You could tell me I'm crazy, I'm an idiot, blah, 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 whatever. But as always, remember to like, subscribe, comment, hit that notification bell so you never ever miss another episode of the Combat Talk podcast. And as always, I'm your host, Sophia. Remember about all those links in the bio of the video, the streaming channel, the Hayabusa link, the Spotify channel, the social media for Combat Talk podcast is all in the bio of the video, so go check that out. And remember to stay subscribed because there's always a video dropping every week. So I'll see you guys soon and let me know what you guys think for your predictions. But for now, bye-bye.